Hey, Sooner fans, welcome back. We have officially made it to game week. We are here, Rob.
Woohoo! About time. Golly,
Yeah,
that was a long off season.
it
Felt
was. It
it,
was.
it really didn't feel too long. We kept busy, but
Yeah,
off seasons are never fun.
right. Uh, yeah, today we'll talk. We wanted to talk a little bit about some tailgating coming up. Rob and some other people are kind of getting a tailgate together this year for the games. So, want to talk about that a little bit, maybe season expectations and whatever else might be on your mind. Up next.
You can make it today. You'll make it to be what you want to be, to go where you need to go in life, to do the things you need to do for yourself. All you gotta do is believe.
Oh, you caught me off guard with that music there.
Yeah.
You like to
Yeah,
keep
the
me on my
theme-
toes. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah. No, the theme of the show is believe, right? We gotta
Yeah.
this is it's time to crank it up. All right. We
Yeah.
just gotta believe, with all the hot takes and crazy stuff that's been said, this and that. I mean, now it's about believing in the team. It's about, uh getting ready for one hell of a season and just believe in it, man. Believe it.
Yeah.
Believe it. We're gonna win. We're gonna win. We're gonna have a great year.
Yep. Before we dive in, I want to remind everyone to please download, like, and subscribe. We would really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button. It's really easy. Click, click. No, nothing charged. Just appreciate you subscribing and listening in. Yeah, for sure. This is the time to where everybody's hopes get up.
Yep.
We've had them crushed a little bit the last couple of years. Get our hopes up, and just for one reason or another, we've just kind of had a couple of rough seasons in there. But here we are, just ready to go, and I feel like this team's. We didn't suffer any major injuries in fall camp, unlike last year. So,
believe.
Good start. Good start
That's
compared to
fine.
last year. And
Yeah.
definitely, for sure. I know Eli Bowen sounds like he'll be out for a little bit, but no, I like it. It's we're starting off fresh. Hopefully guys can stay that way. You would think with Illinois State, of course, you can get a lot of young guys some reps too. Just take care of business for a half, and give some guys some reps, and hopefully come out of that injury free. But yeah, before we get into the season, tailgating.
Yes.
I know you've been talking about it. We'll have some TFB members out there. Matt Sooner Paco, what's his
Sooner Paco
call sign? Yeah. And a bunch of guys out there on the south side of I guess it would be the south side of the stadium area.
Here, I can pull it up. I love this spot, man.
Yeah. If you got a location there.
I love this spot because it is, if you're coming into Norman and you've done the campus corner thing, and oh shoot, did I blow that up? There we go. Okay. Let me you come into the campus, if you've been to campus corner several times, you don't really care to go up there and everything, and you want to stay away from traffic on the way out. I love this spot because you're kind of on the far south side, but I like the ability to tailgate and then get out real quick after the game and skipping all the traffic. It's a walk to the stadium, but when you're walking back, you're literally skipping everybody in line, everybody. So it feels really good to be able to, after, a night game at 10 p.m., you're a little buzzed and tired and your feet hurt. You just want to get in your car and just get on the highway, which is really hard if you're, I like what OU's doing to open up the North Oval. I love all of that. I love all the tailgating that they've opened and everything. It's amazing. But there's so much traffic that's congested up there. And when I like to tailgate, I like just to get out. But yeah, so let me show you. So it's parking lot CE5. It's over there next to the Cross Village, right here. Wow, I wish I could draw. Here, tell me if you see that better. Does that look better?
Yeah.
So you're right here. It's next to the Boomer Outreach Building. We're right in front of it, and I'll pull up a Google map of it too. But it's parking lot CE5. I think you pay like $30. If you don't want to pay $30 and just want to bring a chair and hang out with us, I mean, the Lloyd Noble's right there. It's just a short walk from that. So I've got buddies that are coming. They're gonna park at the free parking and just bring a $5 chair and either throw it in my truck. We can throw chairs in my truck or just throw it underneath or whatever. No one's gonna care for a $5 chair.
Right.
So, but it's right here next Cross Village, and you just it's right near like the towers, and you come up there. It's a walk, but like I said, coming out of a 10 p.m. night game, wanting to get out, and I want to get home before midnight. Being able to walk past all of that, and this road here is Asp, the north and south road is Asp, this east-west road is Timberdale. You come out of this, usually it's on this east side is the exit. There's no traffic, there's no cars. The only thing that's in your way is people, because there's no other parking garage or any other parking that uses South Asp. All this Asp parking garage last year, they kicked them to the west. So like there's no cars, there's just people in your way. So you just sort of like wiggle your way out because everyone's walking down to Lloyd Noble. So as soon as you get past the wall of people, you just come to the stop sign, make a right, go west on Timberdale, and then you get onto Chautauqua, make a left, no traffic, go south. You're on Highway 9 in like 5 minutes. Like you've got your car packed up, you're on the road and you're on Highway 9, you're going wherever you need to go.
Yeah, your map looks funny there. I don't know what happened, but
I'm gonna pull up another one.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm glad you mentioned it's always great to have a nice exit plan after games are over, and if you can get out of there easily, I mean that's half the battle. Trying to get out of there, and just landmark wise, it looks like it's about halfway in between Gaylord Stadium and the baseball field. It looks like halfway in between those two if you're a landmark type person. So great location.
So what's also I love about this spot is shade. So you see these big there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trees, big old trees that full of leaves are providing so much shade, and that's Oklahoma, hot sun, like you guys have some shade. So
right.
There's days that I don't even really put up the canopy unless I just feel like it, because there's just adequate shade. And then there's also Wi-Fi. So for those that are wanting to like come and park, there's all this parking is ours. Like all of this, like it is always open. So we usually park right here. Some people park here, but like all of this, it goes all the way around. It's always open. So there is plenty of parking. So you could show up literally like 5 minutes before the game, Brad, and like park your car. You can show up, So and
don't think I won't try.
So shade, plenty of parking, easy in, easy out. The Porta Johns are like, we usually have our own set over here, but there's also usually a building that's open over there if you wanted to go use the restroom in a building. I mean it's just a nice spot. And 11 a.m. I'm bringing a brisket. I'm bringing a 20-pound brisket.
So for the Illinois State game, right?
For the Illinois State game, yes. I'm bringing a brisket. TFB is sponsoring it. TFB's sponsored. They've given us food money, beer money. Dude, that we've got koozies, so you can come by, get a koozie. I mean, I don't know what else to talk to say. Like beer, food, shade, 60-inch TV. Like, so, well, we're usually right here. And when you're walking up, you'll see Sooner Paco's OU ambulance. That's your North Star, is you're seeing as you're walking around and you're driving and parking, you'll see Sooner Paco's OU ambulance. Super cool. He's got it decked out, man. It is really, really neat. He's the tailgate guru. I just found him on the board last year, and he was just like, "Hey, you guys anyone wants to come by and hang out?" And I was like, yes. So, and all the for the people that haven't tailgated before, I mean, bring a chair. That's the only thing we ask, is just bring a chair. We'll take care of everything else. We'll have food, and we'll have a good view of the TV, and we'll just talk football, man. It's gonna be a fun season. I really think we're gonna have some people turn out this year. I really do. I think we're gonna have quite a few people show up. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, just make sure we let people know his ambulance is not equipped to handle emergencies. So don't do anything silly. It's not like that.
He does have a lot of stuff. Like, it's amazing. Like, through the year, someone's like, "I need a AAA battery," and he like pulls a AAA battery. "I need this," and he pulls it out.
That's awesome.
Because those ambulances are decked out.
Yeah,
with all kinds of storage
everywhere, hidden storage.
Dude, it is the perfect tailgate
Yeah.
device. Is an ambulance with the amount of stuff you could put into it, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So,
Nice.
Suter Paco will be there at 8 a.m. I'll be there at 11. We'll hang out until kick, and we may go in. I might go to the game. I actually might hang back. I don't know how many of my friends are going to be showing up, so we'll see. It's gonna be a fun year, man. And again, Football Brainiacs is sponsoring it. Thank you to Kay and Charlie for that. That's awesome. It's gonna be a fun year, man. I've got so much planned. I mean, I haven't been able to smoke on my trigger in a while, so I'm like really itching to do like some beef short ribs. I was thinking about doing a beef short rib. Anyway, it's gonna be fun.
Oh, nice. I may not make the first game, but I'll plan on coming to that Michigan game that following week. But I expect several people to show up this first week. So I know you'll have a great time, and hopefully we can, it can just keep building after this first week. Everybody come out, check it out. And then, we can really start something good for everybody to show up and have a great place for everybody to gather. And you showed the map. To me, it only looks like maybe 6 short blocks, from the south side of the stadium. So
it's totally doable.
It's not terrible.
No, you can walk to Campus Corner and back. I've done it. It's just a walk, and the benefit of that is that you can get out. If you're like tailgating at the North Oval, dude, like you have to show up the day before. You have to wait an hour after the game to get your stuff. So it's a long night for those night games. It's a long day.
Right.
And I'd rather just pack up my stuff, have a spot where I can get in and out, pack up my stuff, and then go. So if there's people that see this episode and they're thinking about tailgating for the first time and have always been like, "Hey, I always wanted to do it. I just never really know where to go, what to do." That's where you go. So that is a great beginning spot to like really start building something out. And you saw that space, Brad. We could fit like 20, 30 people in that area and have a huge party. Party.
Yeah, you could stack 4 or 5 canopies easily next to each other there, if not more. Just tons of space. I like how it's kind of, and this will be a thing like for the late November games. It's kind of situated just south of that building, so you won't get the north wind possibly blowing on you.
Yep, and there's also huge.
Yeah,
and it's blocked on the west side too. So block on the west side, and we've got walls for our canopies. So yeah, I mean it's nice. Yeah, you're right. The wind it blocks the wind. That's a good observation. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited.
We'll need the wind for the September games, of course, because it'll be freaking 95 degrees. But
I just want an excuse to like bring my barrel smoker. I've got this huge, massive barrel smoker that fits like, I think it says 7 Packer briskets. I would love to have an excuse to smoke 7 Packer briskets for people. I would totally do it in a heartbeat. Like I'll do all of that work. I don't care. Like I think that's
a lot of brisket.
It is
big, man. That's big. You got a huge.
It's a It's a
Yeah.
22. It's a full 50-gallon drum. Basically, it's one of the pit barrel smokers. I've used
Mhm.
it once. It uses up a lot of charcoal, but it's awesome. Like you could fit like I think it said I've got enough hooks to do. I think uh 15 whole chickens. I think it was 15 whole chickens. I don't know.
Yeah, and just so you know, everybody, Rob smoked some meat and pork and chicken for some events at my work, and I've tried his stuff out. He can smoke some good meats, a lot better than Lincoln Riley, so you don't have to worry about it getting overdone.
Oh, that was criminal, man. Oh God. I I can't believe he thought taking a picture of that.
Yeah,
Like he
yeah.
thought, hey, it's not that you people accidentally over smoke stuff all the time, but it's like the taking the picture and being like, oh, I should share this. It's
Yeah.
like, ugh, cringe. Yikes, dude. No.
Yeah, we might remind people, to bring your own beverages, just because we don't know what everybody likes, but I'm sure we'll have some there,
I've
and
got
I'll bring
yeah,
water too because
yeah,
hydration is also
yes, yeah,
important.
yeah.
The
We've
good kind
got
of hydration. Yeah.
yeah, you probably want to bring water. I will have water. We'll have some bottles of water. We're very pro alcohol, so we're gonna have. I think
That's
I've
that's
got
what
like
I'm
a
worried
case of.
about. Yeah.
I
Mm,
know you know me, man. Like, but I've
mm.
got a case of Ultra, a case of Miller Lite, and a case of Boulevard, and then I'm gonna bring some whiskey, and I'm making Jello shots too.
Oh,
Making Jello
nice.
shots. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely going to need a lot of brisket to get that on our tummies. And
Like I said, I'm getting the biggest. I've got it already. It's 22 pounds. It's the biggest brisket I could find that was up there at Sam's. It's the choice. You gotta go. The choice grade level, and it looks good. It's one of the left leaning. So all you smokers out there that know, it's the left side because the steers like to lay on their left leg. So it usually is the most marbling.
huh,
Yeah.
never knew that.
Yep.
Educating me. Oh, that's great. Now we wanted to go live today and just keep it lighthearted because this is kind of the calm before the storm starts next Saturday. And
Yep.
we have our plan is to have a couple of pods a week. We'll always have our regularly scheduled Sunday pod. I think we're shooting for maybe 3:45 or 4 on Sundays,
Mm-hmm.
and then potentially a midweek pod, kind of looking ahead at whatever next week's game is. So, yeah, we're going to be going lightning speed starting next Saturday. No let up.
Yeah.
No bye weeks for us.
No, we've got a lot. There's a lot. We're gonna have our dashboards ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Got some upgraded the heck out of that thing over the last several months. Got every single advanced metric possible. To take a look at pretty much anything, and then SIS Data, our sponsor, SIS Data Hub Pro, really cool guys. Spoke to Michael a few months ago about everything, and yeah, I mean they're excited for their season over there, and but yeah, we've got our dashboard up. We're gonna be following all the advanced metrics. I've got I got one that a commenter of the show mentioned a few weeks ago on one of our pods about tracking the completion percentage, the sack percentage, and pressure percentage that Mateer will receive, and to
Mm-hmm.
follow, watch, how often is he pressured, and is he, maintaining a completion rate? Because really, that kind of shows how good a quarterback is versus pressure is the best way to look at it. How often are they getting pressured, and does their completion percentage stay level or even get better? That kind of look.
Mm-hmm.
I got that built in. I've got the coverages. I got every coverage imaginable. I got quarters, tamp, all of it, all set and ready to go, so we can follow that. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, this dashboard of mine that I started like a couple years ago has like blown up.
Yeah, we got several. We'll try to stick to the schedule formula every week. When we do come on, I know people are creatures of habit. Sometimes they like to, like stick to a routine. So when we come on, we'll take takeaways, we'll talk film, we'll talk, your dashboards, and we have a couple other surprises coming as well. So I'll always just try to keep to the same schedule. That way, a lot of people are into the statistical stuff or film. A lot of people just tune in to listen to me, Rob. So they can do that too. Oh, nice. Yeah, you did. That looks good. Hey, I lost your audio, brother.
Sorry, I muted myself.
No problem.
Got pass pro efficiency, O-line rush production, run stop efficiency, pass rush efficiency, team coverage rates, team run scheme. We're gonna follow rushing. Like, we'll have not just OU but the entire country. So like we'll be able to look at our opponents and be like, hey, what does Michigan like to run? What coverages do they like to run? What run scheme are they running? Are they predominantly zone? Are they more of a counter? Are they wide zone, or are they more of a trap team? I mean, we'll be able to follow all that. And then of course I'll have the offense broke down, what we did last year where we had, formations, we had yards gained by play type. So like quarterback rush, hitting the flats, hitting the sticks, inside zone, duo. I kind of put in as families, counter, outside zone. So we'll have all of that. And then like an example, not that one. Something like this where we'll have a run scheme here all set. I had to split my dashboard up because I ended up having way too much in this. It was taking too long to refresh. But from run stop efficiency, where we can get run stops specific run downs, pass rush efficiency on specific true dropbacks, who's winning at the line of scrimmage on true dropbacks to rush the passer. So we've got a win rate. This is all SIS. The win rate I tweaked because for some reason PFF and SIS don't count batted passes as a pass rush win. I don't know why. I guess it's just hits and quarterbacks, but I do. I went ahead and threw those in there because I just felt like it's a win because you're stopping the play. Anyway, pass pro efficiency, which this was ugly last year. This is all 2024 stuff, so you can see like Jackson Arnold basically threw himself into pressure 20% of the time.
Right.
Not good. But yeah, we'll have all this. We'll have and some episodes we'll talk more about it. Some episodes we won't talk anything about it. Might be not anything really much to talk about. We'll just, but
I like how interactive it is. If we ever have people commenting and wanting to look at something, you can usually get there pretty quickly.
Yep.
You say, we want to look at this, and usually it's just a couple of clicks and you got it. So that's one thing I like about it. Where people ask questions, we can hopefully, provide them what they're looking for on those dashboards for sure.
Yeah. They get curious about wanting to see something. Just we'll pull it up. I have a lot in there, man. I'd be surprised to be something, unless they get really specific.
Right.
Like really, really specific.
Right. In the last 4 minutes of the third quarter, what does OU like to do? Yeah.
And then of course we've, I'm excited to get into the film, man. We'll have, so we're gonna have the film every Sunday. I think we might not have it this coming Sunday, but we'll have it probably for that Wednesday. But I mean, this is last year where we've got, here's OU's defense and LSU, and we can take a look at any of those clips. We'll end up probably on our website, championstandard.com. You'll find some more film breakdowns. You'll find some more analytics stuff that we can't get to on the podcast. So I, come in here and just take a look at all the plays, and I'll have them all broke down here, as you can see down here. This is the old one, but we'll have tracking who the blitz rate, the blitzer. I'm tracking who is off most often blitzer because I'm just curious about it. How often are we in middle of the field open, middle field closed pre-snap, and how often are we rotating safeties? That kind of those really nerdy things. I kind of want to just track throughout the year.
Right,
But
right. To answer your question, Sooner in Texas, yeah, Rob is a numbers nerd.
Yeah, I'm an everything nerd, man.
Yeah,
I nerd out on smoking meat. I nerd out on numbers. I nerd out on football, scheme, all of it. Like I'm in a constant mode of learning all the time.
Yeah. So Sooner in Texas, where you live in Texas? Just kind of curious. But yeah, no, I love your dashboard. It's awesome. I'll usually ask you a question and you'll usually pull it up, immediately. So it's always great to have. Great reference. Yeah, and the film's awesome. I know we got a couple of other guys that are, former players and coaches and have some really good insight on a lot of that film as well that we like to bring in. But
yeah, and I my goal this year for the season is to answer the why. The why are we doing the things that we're doing?
Mm-hmm.
What you see an opposing receiver catch a 5-yard pass, and then another, and then another, and another, and another, and everyone's screaming like, "Stop it!" But there's a reason for it. Like there's always a reason. There's a why, and that's going through this year. We're gonna answer the why. We're not gonna bang the table and get mad at it. We're gonna be like, okay, why are we doing the things that we're doing, and explain it. And we'll have the numbers and we'll have the film, and we're going to have some people on to come in and help us understand the why do we do the things that we do, and why are we struggling, and why are we succeeding.
And those, I don't claim to be that guy either. I know y'all do that really well. So I like when JY and is it
Alex?
Who's the other one? Alex. Thank you.
Coach Flo.
Having those guys in just gives you that reinforcement a lot of times on some of that film. So what else? I know we want to get into a little season talk.
Sure.
So if we want to start doing that, I know we've had several guests on the last few weeks, got their season predictions. We've kind of mixed ours in a little bit, but here we are a week out. I'm still holding firm on the 9-3. I don't want my mind to slip to the 8-4 or worse. So I'm sticking with the 9-3.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a lot of I call it PTSD from the last 3 years of people wanting to, pick anything more than 7 or 8 wins, and I get it. But I feel like we've made the necessary changes, and there's a lot of people think we have question marks, whether it's corner room, whether it's offensive line, whether it's wide receiver room. Every team's got questions. So that's fine if you believe that, but I don't think we're like any different than anyone else. So Sooner in Texas, there you go. 10-2. I like it. I think some of our questions will get answered here in a couple of weeks, after that Michigan game. But no, I expect we finally get one of those years where things kind of fall into place, and maybe we're not so snake bitten with one thing or another. Brent's made the necessary changes that, might have kind of caught up to us a little bit last year, bringing in, coaches and new player. That Mateer Arbuckle combination may end up being, the one thing we look back on, several years from now and be like, yeah, that was the difference, in us making a playoff run or something to that effect. So, have I brought you over to the 9 side yet completely? Or are you still hovering?
No, I'm buying 9-3. I've wavered all this offseason. 8-4, 9-3, 10-2. I've heard great arguments for 7-5. I've heard him. I think you can make a case for pretty much any of that 7-5, 8 for 10-2 Center Texas. Like you can make a case for any of it. Like this roster is really dang good. Like we're saying, like, I'm worried about the corner room because of the amount of decisions on the field because of what we were lacking last year at the corner room, because the corner room was absolutely abysmal. If it wasn't for Eli Bowen that showed up in the middle of the season, by Texas, that is kind of middle of the season, but like if he didn't show up, that corner room was atrocious. Like it was terrible, like bad.
Right.
And going into this year, they moved Kendall Doby and you're hoping Gentry Williams. So they're trying to find ways to elevate that room. But there is a lot of great players on this team. There's 15 guys in the 2 deep that are seniors that are they're trying to get to the draft. 15. Keontae Lewis, Deion Burks, Jacob Sexton, Troy Everett, Weewoo, Simmons, Ott, Huggins, Marvin Jones Jr., Dominic Williams, Grayson Halton, RMT, Kendall Dolby, Kendall Daniels, RSJ. 15 players. And most of those guys are starters. Like, that is a lot of dudes that are they're in their contract year. If you're a follower of the NFL, contract year is important. I mean, it's just players, there's something that just flips and there's a switch where the light comes on. This is my year. I'm going to go take it. I'm going to seize it. You've got 15 guys that are having that switch come on. Yep. This is their they have to play good. And why I'm kind of pushing from 8-4 to 9-3 is because I think the players are going to, no matter what coaching and all the game management, I think the players are just going to be good. And I'm rooting for them to have a great season, because of those 15, you still have John Mateer, who's considered a top 5 quarterback. If he puts up a great year, he's going to get a first round grade. He's going to be gone. So there's 16. Then you look at like Kip Lewis. Kip Lewis, is he really going to come back for his 4th starting year, like his 4th straight year in college ball? I mean, that doesn't normally happen. So there's 17. Then you've got 2 other fringe players in Peyton Bowen and Gentry Williams. Gentry Williams could have a great year and just be like, hey, I got to get in the NFL. I got to get my contract. I got to get a contract. Do I really want to risk getting hurt in the college level again after I just put a great year? He's going to have that, that toss-up player that could jump. And then you've got Peyton Bowen, who has all the talent in the world, man. Like, he's one of my favorite players on defense because his ceiling is so damn high. The 26th draft has got Caleb Downs, and there's one other really good, Michael Tapp of Texas. There's some good safeties in the crop. So I think Bowen's going to have a fantastic year. Realistically, there's a real chance that he could jump. So you have almost 18 players. You have like 8. Hold on.
That's exciting and 19. That's exciting and a little bit depressing if you look ahead a year, but it's okay.
Well, it is okay
because there's a youth movement down there. There's some young, good talent. We've talked about it on campus. So
there's 19 players that you could realistically say that could, in your 2 deep, and most of them are starters, that could be they're fighting for an NFL contract. And for their sake, Brad, they cannot go 8-4 and 7-5, because not all those people that we listed are first round players.
Right.
You know, like NFL, they identify talent. They try to find, your mid rounds, but who it hurts if you have a bad season is your mid round players getting discovered. How do we fit this guy into our system? How does he fit? If he keeps losing,
Yeah. No, I agree. Just a lot of good talent, really deep in a lot of positions. Um, the cornerback room, like you can go through, and we've done it, several pods in the last month. You can go through each room, and it's hard to find one where they didn't upgrade, whether it's depth or just add a John Mateer piece or a Jaden Ott, one piece or just a bunch of depth.
Or just move guys around, like
there's
moving
there's
Dolby to corner. Like
there's
that's
a
a
bunch.
huge move.
Exactly. The wide receiver room has a lot of depth in there, and we just need 3-4 guys to really emerge that can be those playmakers. And I like the looks of that room, even though we had the Nick Andersons and the Farouks and those guys. I just think that room's got extra depth, just like the offensive line, just like the interior line, just like our linebacker room. We lose Stutzman, but you look at that room and there's 4 or 5 quality linebackers in that room, and a couple of them 2-3 year starters. I just think, we keep talking about the cornerback room. Let's hope, if we're pleasantly surprised with that room and maybe the end position opposite of RMT, look out, because I think that's, that defense all of a sudden becomes, sniffing top 10, just great. We don't like to use the word elite, but it's really, really good defense.
Yeah.
And if that ends up being the case, look out. I think this team's destined for 9-10 wins.
So you're 9-3.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying when LSU comes into town, is OU 9-2, or are they 8-3 and they get the victory over LSU? I'm just curious where you're.
No, that's a good question. So if you could tell me if we're going to beat Texas or not, I could answer that question. Because if we beat Texas, then yes, I think we go in 9-2. Because after the Texas game, I think we may, there's a couple of at Alabama, at Tennessee, at South Carolina. 2 of those 3 we could potentially stub our toe. So I'm gonna say that we're 9-2, and that game can we'll either be 9-3 or 10-2 after that. And if we're 10-2, we're going to Atlanta.
Oh yeah,
I don't think there's any doubt about that, because in this league, if you win 10 games, you've booked your ticket.
Yeah, I mean, with 10 games, with literally like Alabama and Texas and LSU, like you knocked
top 10 hardest schedule
people out. So so I'm actually 8-3 rolling into LSU, and we get the upset on LSU. I think we beat them. I do. I think by November you're gonna have an offensive line that's gelled. You're gonna have a receiver that is on fire, whether that's Burks or maybe it's Elijah Thomas or whoever. And I don't believe in LSU's defense at all. And Nussmeier lost his 2 tackles on either side. They're gonna be a great team, but I think we get the upset. Nussmeier is a statue. His completion percentage drops like a rock if you move him off his feet. Like, get him moving, his percentage drops, whereas Mateer actually still drops like you would normally see, but he's one of the better running quarterbacks that can throw the ball. Nussmeier's tanked. Like, he's like, when I ran the numbers, he was like the bottom third of the country. So he took advantage of having Will Campbell, a 4th overall pick, and Emory Jones, another 1st round pick. He was able to stand in there and just do whatever he wanted. LSU couldn't find those guys in the transfer portal because, Will Campbell and Emory Jones don't grow on trees. Where they do, they double down on skill players, bring in Bauer Sharp and Nick Anderson. They're going to hope they can nickel and dime you and all over the field. I think our defense, especially with a healthy Dolby and hopefully a healthy Gentry by that time, they're not going to be able to nickel and dime as much as they think as much as they would normally. So I think we get the upset there in LSU. We go from 8-3. We have that stretch where you've got a great OC or a great caller and a great offensive mind in Sark, and then another one in Lane Kiffin. And then I wouldn't say Josh Heupel's up there, but he's decent. And then you've got Kellen DeBoer, whose seat may or may not be scorching hot come November,
Right.
and he's gonna have to beat us. So I have us at 8-3, upset at the Palace, 9-3, LSU, and then maybe with a little help,
Right.
maybe with a little help, because 9-3 is not good enough to push you to the playoff. With a little help, push you into that third or fourth spot for a playoff bid.
Right. I will slightly agree with one thing about your theory, and that's I don't think the LSU game will maybe be an upset by then. I don't know if it'll be considered an upset. That's my prediction. If we're 9-2, which is my thought, yours is 8-3. I don't think it'll be an upset. I think we're a slight favorite going into that game, if that's the case.
Okay.
Because the script will flip. If we're 9-2, obviously, I know we're like ranked 16th right now, and they're what, top 5, top 7, something like that. So, no, I think we're gonna potentially, if we can go 4-0 going into that Texas game, we're obviously probably a top 8 team by then, maybe, just because there's so many top 20 matchups in between now and then. We go into that Texas game. I don't think they'll be unscathed. Just having going to Ohio State and Florida, I think Texas is going to have one loss. So that could be a 5-8 matchup or something in the Cotton Bowl. But getting off 4-0 would be huge. We like to break up the season into either 3 or 4 game increments. If you can go 4-0, you beat Michigan, Auburn, you get that Kent State win, all of a sudden you're 5-0. Those next 4 games after Kent State, I think it's the next 4 games after Kent State. That's a long stretch of really good teams.
Yeah, it is.
And 2 or 3 of them are on the road. I think we go to Carolina, Tennessee in there, and then Alabama into November. But and if you can get through that stretch, and that's where I'm saying we get through that stretch 5-2 potentially, then you're sitting at potentially 10-2 at the end of the season. But
I like it.
Get that LSU win. Hey, Eli.
I believe, man.
Thanks for joining.
I believe.
No, we're not in the swamp this year, Eli. It's in the Palace. So your comment there, the losses for you guys, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Alabama. I think we win one of those road games, like for sure. Possibly 2. Like if we lose to Texas, I could see us winning possibly 2 of those road games, but I don't see us losing all 3 road games that Eli put down there between South Carolina and Tennessee and Alabama. Do you?
Bama, I would say probably Bama. I mean, I would say we probably lose to Bama. South Carolina, no. Tennessee, I don't believe in Tennessee. Like Tennessee, the quarterback, his name, Joey Aguilar, it does not fit what the veer and shoot scheme like at all. Like he is not a big arm, big quarterback. Like he is not. I don't know how that. And then Mike Matthews, the receiver, great 5-star receiver, but he's not a burner. He's not a guy that is a 100-meter track star like what the Baylor offenses in the past had. What Tennessee actually had last year, Thornton and Squirrel White were like track stars. Like they were really good track receivers. They don't have the track receivers. They don't have a big arm quarterback. I'm not sure how that offense is going to look. I think we beat Tennessee. I think we lose to, you're going to hate me, but I think we're going to lose to Bama, Texas, and Ole Miss. I don't know why, but I don't like the Ole Miss at 11 a.m. I think Texas is, I think Sark, I hate the guy. I mean, I dislike him as a human being. Like, I don't like him. He's an a-hole. But watching back all the Texas games, like, dude is a hell of a play caller. Those first 10 offensive plays that we had versus Texas last year, I know I said it to you. Sark had Brent by the balls, okay? Like, he did. Like, he called those first 10 offensive plays. If Ewers wasn't such a rusty quarterback, or just even like a not a good quarterback, but coming off the injury and starting him, missed wide open players. Sark called some really great zone beaters, knowing that OU was going to be in their zone. And not only that, but he called the exact call for the defensive call that we had. I mean, they would have been up 14-0 in the first 10 plays. Like, it's wild. So I think unless if you tell me that we beat Texas, we run through Michigan, because there's no reason why we should lose to Michigan. Auburn, we should beat the hell out of Auburn, because they're having all kinds of quarterback issues. The quarterback position in Auburn is so heavily skewed to OU. It's not even funny. And then you go to Texas. If you beat Texas, I would believe in your 10-2 for sure. Like, it would happen. Even if I would probably still believe in it if you lost to Michigan, you get to Texas, you beat Texas, you lose to Michigan or an Auburn, and you get to Texas, you beat Texas. I think that would tell me so much about what Brent is game planning and what we're able to put schematically on the field, because Sark is going to, no matter who he's already reloaded twice. Here he is a third time. Great coaches just find ways to win. If we get that win, I would like that. But right now I've got my 3 losses: Alabama, Texas, and Ole Miss.
Okay. Yeah. No, you're right. Sark's a heck of an offense coordinator. Excuse me. But Brent taking over this defense, I think can make all the difference in the world. You give him a few weeks, get those guys cooking. I like the game plan that Brent will take down to Dallas with him. And I think it'll be the ultimate chess match with him and Sark in the Cotton Bowl this year. There'll be some give and take. You may be like, oh gosh, Sark's got Brent's number, and turn around and, RMT's getting a sack, fumble, taking it back to the house or something. So I think it'll be a huge back and forth between them this year down in the Cotton Bowl. And good thing about it, last year we scored 3 points. 3 or 4 years ago we got shut out. That ain't happening.
No,
we're putting 24 plus points on the board easy. I think down there against them, despite all you hear about, Colin Simmons, Anthony Hill. That defense is good, but I think you can put up some points on them. I don't think they're Georgia of a few years ago good. I think they're still a good defense. I don't even know if I would say they're heads and tails better than us defensively. I don't know where you stand on that. I know that remains to be seen, but I think Kay did like position by position comparisons a couple of months ago. I'll have to go back and look, and he didn't give a huge edge to them on the defensive side of the ball. So,
but he didn't measure the coaches though, did he?
I think he mentioned that at the very end, possibly. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, Texas does have an edge in coaching up to this point.
Yeah. Good disclaimer.
But I would up to this point, but I just think those games, the OU Texas game, the rivalry games, it comes down more to game planning than anything else. Because you look at how Bob never had the greatest roster going into Texas week. He didn't have the great. What he did, he smashed the hell out of them. But there were years where we had no business winning against Texas at all. We had no business winning, and we would go in there and beat their ass anyways.
Yeah,
because Bob had a fantastic formula of playing the entire game to triple zero, and what he did versus Texas year in and year out, whether he had the talent or not, and Barry did the same, and Bud did the same, And I want to see it from Brent. I want to know Brent. And this year, he really doesn't have an excuse because he technically does have the better roster, doesn't he? I mean,
Possibly.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, we just went through 17 guys that are trying to get to the
Yeah,
league
no.
next year.
No, I think there's an edge at a lot of the rooms to OU, and yeah, no, I'm with you. I like all the comments. Everybody's fired up, man. You start talking Texas, and everybody's talking
I
about
know.
Dolby coming off the edge, RSG coming off the edge, and
Hell yeah.
getting some sack
Hell yeah.
on Arch and
RSJ is a fantastic blitzer. No, I mean he called. They only called his number like maybe 9 or 10 times the year, but the dude timed his blitz on the snap 7 yards off the ball. Like that's not easy to do. Like it's really hard to have that kind of timing from a safety to be that deep and to time it to where the snap is snapped and then he's at the line of scrimmage to get the sack. Like the amount of blitzers that this defense has is pretty wild. And that's one thing about the Dolby move to corner where you don't want to send your corner often, but he was used in their sim pressure game in that nickel spot. I'm assuming Kendall Daniels is going to do the same thing, but Dolby was a fantastic blitzer in that nickel role.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I like to see in the next couple of weeks is just seeing how that nickel roll plays effect in their sim game, their creeper game, or even want to call it their replacement pressures, because Brent likes to run those all the time with his nickel. So, and it's good to be able to blitz a guy and also the same guy can cover somebody. That gives you so much flexibility in your playbook to be able to cover somebody and blitz them, and not just have to be worried about having a safety over the top to help them. So,
yeah, I think Eli touched on it a little bit. They didn't trust our corners last year. Probably a combination of didn't trust our corners and Zach Alley maybe was trying to tweak a system that, Brent's going to get back this year. So I just think there's going to be big changes on that side. Brent knows what got us in trouble last year. The run defense was fine.
Yeah.
The run defense was good. The pass rush was good at times. We know what the problem was last year. It was secondary giving up some explosive plays in a lot of those games. Critical moments. They just gave up, 14 to 21 points at certain points, and that was the difference in a lot of those losses last year. So I think he's made all the appropriate changes, including himself. Getting him back calling the plays.
yeah,
I want to see a animated, fired up Brent when the defense is out there, and I want to see a cool, calm, and collective Brent when the offense is out there, and that's where I'm hoping Kevin Wilson can bring that calming presence over to the sidelines, and just kind of keep. That's what you need on the offensive side. You don't need the intensity like you do. Let Beanbo yell at the offensive linemen, when they're on the bench. But
yeah,
I'm ready, man. I'm looking forward to it. I think we're going to get some answers this coming Saturday.
So a few.
Hopefully
you don't
many.
Hopefully you don't have a lot of it, because if it,
we don't want bad answers, right?
Right. We want to just we just want to learn that we're competent on offense. Like we should, don't freak out. We don't score 1,000 points in the first 2 possessions. Like let's let them go 3 and out a couple times, whatever. But let them kind of get, you mentioned it, it's just like shake off some of the cobwebs, some of the jitters. We're nervous and excited. Players are nervous and excited. Like it's a mixed bag of emotion. Let them settle in, and then let them just beat the living crap out of these Redbirds and just enjoy some destruction, some domination. I expect the offensive line. I want to see someone tossed in the stands. I want to see a Redbird like flying. I want to see someone just pick a Redbird and see if he can fly. That's how I want the offensive line to dominate.
Yeah.
But let them go through this few series, let them get settled in, and then I want to see some rhythm to the offense. Some nickel and diamond action, some good run action, just mixing it up, having fun, let them settle in, let them have fun. I want to see a defense that's just hungry dogs. You want that defense to like they've been hitting each other for so long. This is like the first chance to really hit someone they do not care about. So I do want to see the defense, just lay into some people. I want to see some attitude. I want to see some attitude from the offensive line. So
yeah, no, I think a lot of that will be answered, even if it's just for a half. Like if we just see that for glimpses when they want to, that's important. And then, yeah, I'm with you, Mateer. Just get this offense in a rhythm. Yeah, make some big plays. I'm with you. I'm getting lost in the comments right now. It's good stuff.
I was like, yeah, go ahead.
No, you're good. I just want to see Mateer. We don't need to see much with his legs. We know what we have there, right? In fact, I would like for him to stay, in the pocket as much as possible, this first week or so and not have to run. You don't.
Yeah.
I know Michigan knows he can run too, but you just want the tapes to look like, he's going to be a pocket guy for the next few weeks, even though we know otherwise. No, it's it's exciting. I can't wait for Saturday to get here. I like that it's evening game just from maybe, and it's 5:00. I guess that's not technically evening. That's late afternoon, but it's going to be tough waiting all day just to get ready for it. But we have plenty of Ohio State, Texas, and another game in the afternoon to keep us busy.
Yeah, that's going to be, I like that. Texas, Ohio State. I'm interested in what Sayan does over there at Ohio State. And I'm actually, I don't know. There's been so much hype on Arch Manning. It drives me crazy. I hope he actually kind of struggles at the gate just to bring some people down a little bit. But Eli had a question. Who do you guys want at left tackle and left guard? Is that what that said?
Left tackle and right tackle. So Rob, I'm gonna answer right tackle because that kind of seems to be kind of locked up by Logan Howland. And so I'll answer kind of the obvious, and then I'm gonna put the tough question on you. Who do you want to be at left tackle?
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. No, you're on the hot seat.
I want Fasusi. I've been saying that there's like Fasusi has been the only player this whole time from spring to today where I've actually bought the hype on because he is a 5-star player. You look at him physically, he's ready to play. There's nothing else the kid has to do physically. Like he can go out there and play D1. There's been plenty of starting left tackles. Okay, plenty. South Carolina had one last year. Okay, you've had Caden Proctor and you've had Mitch Hyatt of Clemson back in the day. Anton Harrison came in, started a few weeks into the season. I think it was by Texas, right? So I mean, like we've had starting tackles. If he's earned it, he plays, and I think, just from I think you play him. Like he's gonna be too good. You've got only 3 years with him. What the hell's the point of playing him for 4 games and just redshirting him? And then he plays 2 full season? Like what's the no? So you're not redshirting him. He's not being redshirted. There's no way you do that. That'd be stupid. So you're not going to redshirt him. He's only going to get better. You got to play him. Yes, he'll make mistakes. Everybody's going to make mistakes. Let the kid play. He'll get better. You got yourself a bookend tackle for the next 3 years. Mm-hmm. You're paying him anyways. So that's another thing where NIL contract value stuff, you're paying him to be your starting left tackle.
Right.
That's a fact. Like he is being paid to start at your left tackle. If he's not, then he needs to get a better agent. So Fasusi's left tackle. I would say Howland to right tackle. Mm-hmm. Now you've got bookend tackles for the next 3 years. Like for this season and 2 more seasons, you do not have to worry about your tackle position, which there's not many college football teams that can say that.
Right. No, so, I like your idea. I always like the idea. You can start a Fasusi, you can start a Howland. Both of those guys are younger, but you have a Sexton and a Taylor and a Simmons, experienced guys just waiting there. So if you throw the young guys out, especially if Fasusi, he looks like deer in headlights. You have seasoned guys just waiting there behind them that you can easily stick in, and you're not having to depend on a young guy to come in and do that. So I like the ability to give the young guys a chance to show themselves, prove themselves, and just have that experienced 3-4 year guy there behind him. That's a nice luxury that you can't have every year. And we've talked about O-line's deep. It's probably too deep at every position at least. And then you have 2 or 3 swing guys that can play multiple positions, which comes into play come midseason when guys get banged up. So I just think, Bedenbaugh and a slimmed up Bedenbaugh that looks ready for the season as well, man. I mean, he's chomping at the bit just as much as these guys. I mean, he said he hadn't felt this good in 5 or 10 years. So go get him, B. Go get him, man.
I think this offensive line group is going to they're gonna come out with their hair on fire, man. I cannot imagine the amount of just wanting to get the bad taste out of their mouth from last year and get away from it. And Illinois State, Michigan. I mean, Michigan's going to be a big test. They got a lot of really good dudes, but I want to see some birds, man. I want to see some birds fly in the air. I want to see Fasusi take a bird and just throw him in the stands, man. Dominate them. Put them where they belong and in the dirt.
Yeah. The over under for, some after the whistle penalties for game 1, I'm going to say it's 3.5.
3.5. Oh my God.
Yep. Guys are ready. Guys are ready to knock the crap out of someone else. I promise you. There'll be one late in the 3rd or 4th quarter. Boganowski will come in. He's guaranteed to get in after whistle. One of the O linemen will, and then I think there'll be a couple more. I just think those guys are ready to. I think we're gonna have to reel guys in this year, which we've talked about.
I like that.
That's what you want.
Absolutely.
You can't always teach aggression. So, but you can try to reel it back in if there's over aggressiveness, and that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, and this offensive line's should have had a pretty good training camp or fall camp, going up against that run defense of ours. That they have to establish the run. That is first and foremost. And they're going up against one of the best run defenses in the country day in, day out for the last 3 weeks. So I have high expectations. I think by the end of the year, the offensive line should be going into next year, by far your best position group. It would be the strength of the team. So, and that's why I say I pick LSU. I think we're gonna beat them. I think we're gonna beat LSU in November. I think we get the upset. I think we're gonna be a really good team in November. But I think we're gonna have to go through some growing pains to get there. So that's why I have them going 9-3.
Yeah, I like our 2 chats that just came in back to back. Michigan isn't going to know what's hit them, followed up by Michigan scares me. So we got both ends of the spectrum covered there, guys. I love it. Yeah. So I'm hoping Travis is right. No offense, Eli, but on this particular comment, I hope Travis is right. I hope Michigan doesn't know what hits them. I hope that's a coming out party. We've had those coming out parties in the last when Stoops was around. We all of a sudden, it used to be like, ooh, we show up in Texas. Well, hopefully that's one of those is next week when we play Michigan, and we're like, wow, look how far we've came. Right. Look how far we've came in 1 year. So
yeah. So I mean, Michigan's going to have a really good front 7. They always do, and they've got a lot of good seniors up front, and they got a good pass rusher in Derek Moore. Our offensive line, that's gonna be a great litmus test on how good our offensive line is gonna be at actually moving people off the ball. And it's a good early test in week 2. But I cannot imagine a scenario in my head. You have a rookie quarterback coming in on his first road game and beating a Brent defense at home. Would I be shocked? I guess Yes, I'm gonna say there. I'm gonna be shocked if that happens, man. Because like Sherrod Moore has gone through so much over there at Michigan. They've had to retool that whole roster. They had to retool their whole coaching staff. I mean, he has NCAA infractions that he's dealing with because of Harbaugh and like the last regime. He has to deal with all that shit. And you give him a rookie quarterback, and he's gonna roll down in here to the Palace and beat us, dude. No way. Like, no way. Like that can't happen. That cannot happen. You cannot tell me that happens. Like it'll be a hard fought game, but we're gonna win. We're gonna win that Michigan game. We have
right. Yeah. No, I think there's several litmus test games, and to answer your other question, Eli, you asked if you feel like this is going to be different this year, like this team improves throughout the season. Absolutely. I think it'll be one of those Bob Stoops type seasons where you just see progression every week. I just mentioned litmus test game. The Michigan's the first one. You can say Auburn and Texas is kind of that next game for that next test. And then after that, the Texas game just starts the gauntlet or the revenge tour, however you want to look at it. That Texas game starts the next 6 out of 7 games. We lost to every one of those opponents last year. That's why everybody's calling it the revenge tour. You start October 11th. That's when it starts. Each week, bulletin board material is not going to be difficult this year for this team.
No.
They're starting out with a chip on their shoulder already. So you're going to add. I want the disrespect to continue for the first 5 or 6 weeks and just get this team chomping at the bit going into Texas. I think we could turn into a wrecking ball. I do. I think this team's capable of being one of those teams people just aren't giving credit for. And we just turn into a wrecking ball once that SEC season starts and just start picking people off left and right. So I'm getting excited, man.
Yeah.
It takes a lot for me. I'm an old guy, man. I need caffeine and everything else to get me going, but I'm ready. I'm ready. I may be reaching out to you after that Illinois State game's over and be like, let's do a live, man. I'm jacked up. I can't wait until Sunday. Let's go. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun season. I have concerns, but I don't know. I just have fewer than I did last year coming out of the gate.
Yeah, the last year was like I remember doing a pod and we're like, I'm not sure how this Seth Luttrell offense was going to look because he's not that veer and shoot offense that Levy ran. Like, how does that marry together? It didn't make any sense. And I thought they were gonna redo the whole thing, and lo and behold, they kind of did. I mean, they didn't run Levy's offense at all. Like, it was nothing to do with it at all. Like, right. So they had to break in a whole nother new thing, but they were using Levy's verbiage, which didn't make any sense. But this year, you have a Ben Arbuckle who is like, everyone wants to say he doesn't have an identity. He does. Okay. He does. He is a young coach that learned the air raid system. He was a true air raid guy. He was a true air raid disciple in Western Kentucky. Okay. He threw the pill with Billy Zappi. Okay. Like, he is a true air raid guy that once he stepped out of that and went and became his own man, his own coach, he started putting all kinds of stuff that you do not see in true air raid, like the counter game and the wide zone game and stuff like that. He is very much his own guy who has a plan, who has a system. Okay. He has his quarterback that he had last year. It is like a complete 180 from our start from last year to this year. And it's going to be way different. We're going to be way more organized. Things are going to make sense. Mm-hmm. We're going to be there's going to be rhythm on the field. There's going to be actual rhythm. There's going to be plays, setting up future plays. We're going to try to see what the defense is doing in the first quarter, in the first half, so that we can turn around, beat the crap out of them in the third quarter. Like, it's going to be completely different, and it's going to still take some time for an offensive line. You got to gel, to understand like what the why of their offense, like why are we doing the things that we're doing, and this is what we want to do. This is our mission, and you've already got Mateer, who's already gone through it with Arbuckle. So offense, it'll definitely be what you mentioned, is it's going to get better and better and better. And I think come time in championship November, where we should be partaking in, we'll be hitting our peak. Okay, when we get to November, that's when we should be peaking as a team in November. If your coaching does it right and game plans the whole season, they should be peaking in November, and that's why I have them picking off LSU and Missouri in November and making a noise to try to get into the playoff.
Yeah, agreed. Another question here. Eli asked, what do you guys think of Beatonbows comparing Arbuckle to Riley? I agree that is kind of an unfair comparison. That would be great if it worked out that way. What I will say is I think the trio of Arbuckle, Beatonbow, and Kevin Wilson, all those minds sitting in the room, game planning, executing Arbuckle's game plan, I think will be be tough to deal with. I think that's three great minds you have in the room between, and Beatonbow, he's willing to listen to whatever the young guy says that comes in here. And I call him young because 29-year-old coaches just don't come around that often. But he's bought in to Arbuckle's system. He's bought into whatever, if he's got ideas, if something's not working, Beatonbow's like, okay, we won't do that. If something is working, okay, we'll do more of that. So he's totally bought into it. I just think those three guys in that room just will make a huge difference this year compared to the crap show that was out there last year. You can't, sugarcoat it. It was bad. So
what I heard out of that, when he said that quote, if you look at Riley's East Carolina University years before he was at OU and he was having those top 5 offenses, he was a true air raid guy. He was running true air raid. He didn't have counter and wide zone and all these run schemes. They were running draw and outside zone, like very minimal run playbook, spread the ball, air raid, push the ball downfield. When Riley came to OU and he had Coach Beatonbow as an offensive line coach who is a counter savant. Like Beatonbow is a counter game savant. And I think what the two, like Riley, his run game exploded. Like all kinds of, like he gets, Riley gets like all this credit for some of the passing concepts with, DD and CD, but his run game, the counter run game was unreal. And he adapted to the quarterbacks that he had. He ran it different with Jalen. He ran it different with Baker. But when I heard Coach Beatonbow say he reminds me of Riley, I think what I said earlier about how Arbuckle was at Western Kentucky was a true air raid and then split off to Washington State, became his own OC, got into the counter, got into wide zone. Now he's at OU. I think he's going to do the same thing. That's why I kept, when I had Coach on to talk about the wide zone, I said, I think they're going to major in counter. I think you're going to see Arbuckle paired with Beatonbow, same kindling of when he got a young Riley. I think Beatonbow and Arbuckle are going to work together to build an awesome counter game. And I think you're going to see many different variations of it. Hopefully we have a tight end that can help in that to expand the playbook a little bit more. But once I heard that, I was like, yeah, I mean, the career trajectory of Arbuckle and Riley are very similar, and how they've been adding layers to their offense each and every year. And now he's paired with Beatonbow, who loves the counter game. And if his guys can run it, they're going to run the hell out of it, man. I think it's going to be we're going to be a sneaky good run game team. That's where, because my question mark is wide receiver. Well, one of the easiest ways to get receivers open is having a strong run game and have some play action off of it and getting those one-on-one opportunities off of PA. off of that counter game. So yeah, so that's what I heard. When I heard he said, he reminds me of Riley, I thought, okay, yeah, the trajectory is the same, and maybe they're working on an evolution of some counter. Because you go back into last year, starting at South Carolina, we were starting to run the ball a little bit better. When we went to Ole Miss, we ran the ball a little bit better, and it was all through the counter game after Seth Luttrell was fired. It was after Seth Luttrell was fired, JJF became the OC. I would bet my house that Coach B was like, "This is what I would like to see us do." He spoke up a little bit, was like, "Hey, we need to lean into this. I can run this. Like, I can get my guys to do this." And now he's got a young Arbuckle who wants to do the same thing. I that's what I heard, man. I heard that the counter run game's coming strong, and the guys open to listening to other people, and I think it's going to look very similar to what we had with Riley.
Yeah,
similar, not the same. Similar,
right. Eli just asked, "What do you guys think of Sategna?" It sounds like he's a great possession guy. We've had many of those over the years, whether it was Stoops or, gosh, I don't know. You can help me out with just possession guys to help keep the chains moving. That's exactly what Sategna feels like, with some breakaway speed as well. So, if you can get a guy, and Brent just sounds ultra confident in his ability to, just keep making plays and, very consistent. That's what you need in that wide receiver room, is just some guys you can depend on every week. Just catch the ball, make some plays. It doesn't have to go for 6 every time. Just catch the balls that are, thrown to you. So no, I'm a big fan of Sategna, and I think he'll get some run at punt returner too. May take some pressure off Bowen, and keep him healthy. So I'm excited for, special teams as well, because of adding him back there. And we've already talked about Tate Sandell, what he brings to that kicker room. So I know I just kind of veered off here to the special teams room all of a sudden, but improvements across the board.
So what I heard out of that Sategna, some of the stuff that TFB has been talking about Sategna, our defense runs a lot of zone. Like we are a drop true zone, country coverage zone team.
Right.
I would expect, if you've got a receiver that's doing really good in that means Sategna is going to be your zone beater. He must understand like the leverage of changing with the different country coverages, and knows where to sit. He knows where to sit, or he knows where to sit where Mateer wants him to sit. And I think that's because if you got this defense that's running country coverages all over, guarding grass, and you've got all these crossing routes, I think Sategna and Mateer are probably on a wavelength together on where he's supposed to be on this country cover, where it's cover 2, cover whatever, cover 2, cover 4, and he is sitting where he needs to be, and it's just working. And it's just easy catch. If our defense is still running that true zone, I mean, obviously we can't get into practice. I wish I could. I just have like binoculars, so I know what could
you'll be that guy
running. Yeah. But based on like what they did last year, their identity was cover grass. And so like I bet you the receivers are finding success, or the receivers are doing some really great work in zone beaters, and that's where Sategna is shining, which is good, because you've got a running quarterback, Brad. You can't play man coverage on him. If you turn when Mateer's sitting back there, he can take off on you, unless you have a spy, which is kind of what Wyoming did. So, but it's safer just to be in zone. That way, if you see all eyes are on the quarterback scrambles, you dart in. But you can't get into zone if you've got a player like Sategna that's roaming around the middle of the field, nickel and diming you to death. So you kind of have to go back and forth. It's that, the tendency of the calls going back and forth. So I think Sategna might be your zone beater receiver in that slot position, and him and Mateer have a wavelength together on how to attack a zone defense in a nutshell.
Yeah. And I can't wait for Giovanni Gibson to be back because he's just a handful at receiver. He's built like I don't know what I don't know who to compare him to, dude. He looks like a
cousin of
small
Megatron?
D end or something in a receiver body. You know what I mean? He's just he's built, and I can't wait for him to get back because you have a few burners. You got Sategna, you got Kearney, Elijah Thomas. You got guys that can go vertical, but Giovanni's one of those possession guys, I think, on any given down that can just go up and get it and, just shed a couple of defenders and can get another 10 yards kind of guy. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing him. I think he's going to, and I think he's still another week or two away, maybe. I don't think he'll be ready for the opener. But we haven't talked about the running back room much. I know that was mentioned in the chat. I think the Ott X-Rob combination is very intriguing. If you can get both them kind of thunder and lightning out there a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And Blaylock's some lightning too, from what I'm hearing. But I just like X-Rob's ability to go between the tackles. And I think there'll be several possessions this year where Beatonbow's, all right, guys, just line up. We're bringing in X-Rob. We're just going to knock these guys out for the next, 10 plays or whatever. And just bowl them over down the field. I think there's going to be some times like that, just giving Ott a breather. But that running back room's loaded. I love it. There's 4 or 5 guys in that room that can make a difference, and Tatum hadn't even really got much run this fall too. And he may be your 4th guy that comes in. So it's crazy how loaded that room is. So
it's a stacked room, and X-Rob's one of my favorite, but Ott he's your home run man. We pulled the tape on him. We watched the highlights of him. There was no business of him scoring a 30-yard touchdown on that one play that we watched. It was dead to rights, and he makes a couple of guys miss, and he just scores himself. And that's been missing at that running back spot. Is that the offensive line is not going to be perfect every single play. Right. Like they cannot. It's impossible to be perfect on every single counter and every single wide zone and every single thing. We have not had a running back that has made the offensive line look good in a long time. And Ott makes his offensive line look good. He made that Cal offensive line look good, and they're not that good. They weren't that good. But having that back and O-line relationship where the O-line will carve people up and displace people over, and the running back makes the right decision and takes off, and then there's going to be plays where offensive line busts, but it doesn't matter. Ott makes a guy miss and goes and has a 10-yard first down. And that we've been missing that at the running back spot for a long time. So I'm excited for Jaden Ott. I think he ends up being your best playmaker on the team, even over Burks and over Sategna. I think outside of Mateer, of course, but I think he's definitely going to be your best playmaker. And I believe in some of the hype that's out there about him getting, having 1,400 scrimmage yards and 10 touchdowns and all that stuff. I believe it. I do. I think you can. Cal would line him up at slot and just run some bubble screens just to get him the ball. They just line up the slot. Hey, go bubble out. We're gonna get you the ball. Hey, we're gonna do a little screen. Hey, just run a quick slant or a little stick route. We're just gonna run a stick. We're gonna try to get you the ball. And they tried to get him the ball as much as possible. I don't know if we commit that much time to it, but you could. But I think he's a pretty big addition to the team for sure.
Yeah, we keep mentioning offense, corners, some of the question marks. We've went a whole pod without even talking about that defensive line.
Yeah.
Is everybody? I feel like everybody just kind of expects them to be great, and there's not much like concern or talk about.
Well, you brought everyone back. We know what we're getting. It's going to be one of the best run defenses in
the interior is just nasty.
It is, and who knows what Stone does? I mean, we know what we've got. Stone could take that to a whole nother level. Like I'm telling you, Brad, we will not have an interior defensive line room this deep again. I with Jaden
I hope you're
Jackson,
wrong.
Dominic, I hope I'm wrong. I know,
Right. But I know what you're saying.
those three guys could, I mean, all three of them could end up being at a minimum day 2 picks. So that is so different in the last 5 years, in the last 4 years. I mean, that is like, if you want to look at the culture, you talk about the culture and you talk about recruiting and all this different stuff. We had Matthew Romar start for us. He was our starter. And we went from that to having 3 legit dudes that can play on Sunday in our rotation. That's wild.
Yeah,
I mean,
and Eli just touched on it too. Yeah, I'm a big Trent Wilson fan too, the incoming freshman. I think he's going to be really good. He just needs the reps, but Trent Wilson in waiting is going to be another one of those guys that comes through. So just keep stacking those recruiting classes on that interior defensive line. It's been something to see. If there's any room that has did a complete makeover or flip in the last 3 years, I don't think we don't need to look much farther than that interior D line.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, so I'm speechless. I don't even know what else to say now about the
we went around the world,
interior line. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, we talked about the tailgate. Hey guys, we got a tailgate.
Yep.
For some of the people that joined the show late, go rewatch the beginning. We just talked about our tailgate. It's sponsored by the Football Brainiacs. They're buying the food, the beer. We've got an OU ambulance over there at the Boomer Outreach Building. Come and see us. Plenty of space, plenty of parking, easy in and out, shade. I mean, awesome spot. I'm bringing a brisket. I'm doing a brisket. I got a 22-pound choice brisket. Was it choice? Or was it? Yeah, whatever. 22-pound brisket in the fridge right now. I forgot. Is it choice or is like
That's all right. That's all right.
Whatever.
Potato. It's a damn brisket.
It's a good brisket.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's a good brisket. An awesome brisket. And I know how to smoke my brisket, and I'll prove it to you. Come by and have a sandwich. So
yeah. Hey, we're going to wrap things up here, everyone. I really appreciate everyone tuning in. I appreciate all the comments. I hope we get some regulars each week. Again, it will probably be, coming on every Sunday, 3:45, 4 o'clock. So tune in. Appreciate it, everyone. Get your game face on next Saturday, and hopefully we're talking a big route and looking forward to Michigan.
And believe me, guys, like we're good at this. This believe, like this season is going to be just so different. And we've got a great quarterback. You've got a great OC. You're stacked at D line. You've got so many players on the defensive side of the ball that could just flat out run and blitz and cover all over the place. We've been nitpicking them, wide receiver, corner. This is a good team. And I believe with these players, you've got 15 guys that are seniors in the 2 deep. They're fighting for NFL contracts. They're going to give themselves a great year. 9-3, Brad. 9-3 for me. Just got to believe. And honestly, and like TFB's mentioned it, we had James Hale on here. We've had JY on here. There's no reason this team couldn't go 10-2. So believe.
Yep. Amen. Boomer Sooner, everybody. And we'll talk to you soon, hopefully after a big Sooner victory next weekend. Take care, everybody.